Lisa Heron is here from the U.S. Forest Service talking about Wildfire Awareness Week.
Good morning, Todd.
Good morning. We talked last week about Wildfire Awareness Week. Does it go for like 2 weeks now?
It goes for a week.
Doesn't it go really all summer?
It should, yes. You're right.
I mean, we really
it should go all year.
That's what I like about winter is because you can relax a little. Not so much this last winter,
Usually,
but you can relax a little bit.
You can.
Living in fire country in the winter.
When there's snow on the ground.
It gives you
not as bad.
Gives you a little bit of a break.
But yeah, we saw with the Reno fires though, it can happen any time of year. So
did they get? I was just up at Mount Shasta. Did they get that under control? Is that one all taken care of? I was
the Mount Shasta actually.
No, the one here. I'm saying I was gone.
Oh. Yes. Oh, you mean the one that was by Topaz Ranch?
Yeah.
Yes.
They got
yes.
that.
Actually, I believe it's either contained or it's close to being contained. And what that means is they have dug a fire line all the way around the fire.
Ah, okay. So they're saying we got you.
Right.
As long as everything behaves, the winds, the humidity, and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, and I think that little bit of rain that we had really helped that out.
I know.
So that was perfect timing.
So with Wildfire Awareness Week, I mean, I would think a lot of locals think they know about what they're supposed to be doing.
Hopefully they do, and they think about it, and they plan ahead.
But didn't you find, I know I certainly did, when we had the Angora Fire, I mean, that was a very serious, it left a scar on...
It was really scary.
It really was, and I think a lot of people, looking back on that, can reflect and learn from that event.
I think it really heightened the awareness of all the residents. I know for me, I've lived here quite a long time, and for me it was the closest I've came.
Oh God!
And it was really scary. We were prepared to evacuate. We live over by the high school, and
so me too.
It was it was really scary. We had all our pets and ready, and
we did the same thing.
And that's the important thing. If there is a wildfire, you want to
know how to evacuate.
You want to. The first thing is to plan ahead. Create defensible space around your home. Don't wait. Till it's happening. Have
yeah, right. No kidding.
That's kind of too late.
But that was kind of what people were doing. I mean, right? You saw them taking the wood pile away from the house, pulling the pine needles away. Like if you do it ahead of time,
then you don't have to worry about it. You can just relax.
Focus on whatever else.
Yeah, and prepare your home. Get rid of those shake roofs. Plant fire-resistant vegetation, that kind of thing.
What kind of vegetation is resistant to fire? What do you like? Metal plants?
There you go. That's a good idea.
brick plant. Tropical plant. Neil says maybe we put palm trees there.
There you go.
I never see them burning, huh?
Well, one thing that we advise is to get rid of any junipers that you might have. Junipers are really bad. I know a lot of people used those in landscaping years ago, and now they're kind of big and bushy, and those burn really, really hot.
They burn super hot.
Yeah,
how about manzanita bushes? Aren't they another one?
Well, manzanita bush, it is a native species here in Tahoe. So, stick with the native species.
Is there going to be an evacuation practice today?
There is. The Tahoe Douglas Fire Protection District, which is over on the East Shore, is having an evacuation drill today at 10 o'clock.
Cool.
It lasts from 10 to 1 o'clock.
Cool.
So it's going to kind of give residents an idea of what would happen during an evacuation.
Did you? I mean, you were here for the. You must live on Gardner Mountain. You live on Gardner Mountain?
Close.
Okay.
Right at the end there.
I'm not going to give you your address away, don't worry. but I was so amazed during the Angora Fire, and you must have seen this too. Because they right up just a few houses away from us, they burned. But I was so amazed at. I'm glad we're doing an evacuation plan practice because I was so amazed at people driving around all crazy.
Yeah.
But the stuff that people had in their cars, like you see, like these old 1964 bar stools, and you're like,
oh my gosh,
that's what you're saving, like a mattress.
That's crazy.
Really, you couldn't just leave the mattress to burn, it was amazing.
That's a good point, though, Todd, because that way you should plan ahead. Think about if there is an evacuation, what you would want to take with you. The important things would be important papers, maybe photo albums, any kind of medication that you might require.
That's a good one,
And then plan ahead, too, for your pets. A lot of people have pets here in Tahoe, and when it happens, people a lot of times don't think about what they're going to do with their pets.
It's a really good point what you're saying. The medication, the papers,
paperwork,
and photos.
Your ATM card, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you have all that,
ready. It was good to have gone through it. The one thing like it was really that I found from it that was really enlightening and uplifting was actually. We kind of grabbed a computer with our stuff, a few papers, because the computer had photos, is what really. And
definitely.
And then Tara and I actually, of course, had the dog, and we were safe. But the one thing we grabbed was rock climbing stuff and camping stuff, because we thought
a lot of people don't think about that. That's a really good idea.
We thought if the house burns down, which it was very likely to, they were saying you're probably gonna lose your house. I mean, it was close.
It was really close.
We thought, well, God, nothing would be more frustrating than like not have like at least we could just go play and go do something until things. Because now you go through where the burn area is, and it's nice to see people's homes are back up.
Oh, it's great.
In a lot of cases, the homes are nicer, and
it's great. A lot of people have rebuilt, and it's looking like a neighborhood again.
Yeah.
I remember driving through there right after. It was just heartbreaking.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know
that whole neighborhood
it brought tears to your eyes the first time.
We had several people at the Forest Service that lost their homes.
Of course, yeah.
We had friends that lost their homes, and so it was devastating. It really makes you think, and it's so important to plan ahead and be prepared.
Yeah, and remembering how that day was, that everybody was just doing something, and all of a sudden, now looking back, it's like, oh, the Angora Fire. But when it started, it was like, what's going on? What's happening? Where are we going? What should we do?
I felt it too, that sense of kind of a panic. We had just come back into town and we saw the smoke and we rushed home, because from over on the east shore, it looked, really close to our house. And it was really scary.
Yeah.
So if you plan ahead, then, you can kind of prepare yourself and you won't, panic.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want to avoid.
Yeah. And it seems to me, out of bad, I always feel like I have to try and find something good. And as we keep talking about this Angora Fire, I think the awareness level is higher. People can relate to what you're talking about in an evacuation plan.
I think it is a good thing.
If we hadn't had something, they go, whatever.
We live in the mountains. You have to prepare. We live in the forest, basically. It's just like people in Florida. So they plan for hurricanes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So for this week, because it is Wildfire Awareness Week.
Yes, through Sunday, through June 3rd.
Talk about some of the events.
We have at Explore Tahoe, which is right by the gondola downtown there. We have a film series going on all week. It's today at 2 o'clock. It's put on by the UNR Cooperative Extension. It's called Living with Fire in the Tahoe Basin.
I like to call that living in hell.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But it's different.
It's the same, I guess. But anyway, it talks about, here in the basin specifically. Because we're like a lot of other mountain communities. I mean, you live in the forest.
God, I know.
And so it's really a good film. I've seen it before, and it's if you have some time today, go down there. It's only half hour long.
Like to teach what to do at your own home, or is it just kind of the big?
It's an educational film. Yeah. So it talks about preparing ahead of time. Before, during, and after.
Right.
So that's really good. Today also we have a webinar. We have a webinar series going all week long. You do have to register, and you can do that by just going to the livingwithfire.info website. And today is Improving Home Survivability, and it's at noon. It runs from noon to 1 o'clock. These webinars also will be archived, so they'll be online afterwards.
Cool, you can go check them out.
So, yeah, and so for the Forest Service, basically our plan for evacuation is called Ready, Set, Go. Ready is to make sure, do the things we talked about, plan ahead, create defensible space, prepare an emergency kit. And then set is, if there is a wildfire happening, stay tuned to the news, pack your car, do something with your pets.
This is also great because these are all things that I feel like we learned in the middle of the fire last time. Now we're saying let's be a little bit more prepared and be able to
plan
adjust.
ahead, because you never know when it's going to happen again. I mean, it's.
One more question I had was, I know after the fire, I remember the way we measure like a tree that you can cut down was like at chest height, a certain size. Didn't that increase dramatically?
And I think it did, yes.
And if you have trees at your home, are you guys the ones to call to say I want to remove a few trees that are close to the home or fire danger?
Not if it's on private property. If it's on private property, you should call your local fire protection district, like Lake Valley or Tahoe Douglas or
the city,
North Lake Tahoe. On the west shore, it's Meeks Bay.
Right.
Call them. They'll come out and they'll do like an assessment and they'll help you. If it's a Forest Service lot, yes, then call us.
Right.
We'll send somebody out to take care of it.
You go to your own fire district. And I know that's after that fire, they became so much more. Like we'll take some.
It really brought it to the forefront.
Trees.
Yes, we have tons of trees. There's no lack of trees here in the basin. So cutting a few down is not going to hurt.
This is great stuff. So today, when people see the mass evacuation plan,
that's just a drill. It's an evacuation drill, and afterwards there's a barbecue.
And where's that going to be?
Was fitting. Actually, I don't have that information.
Go to the Forest Service website.
Go to the Forest Service website.
There you go. Or call the Forest Service.
Yeah, we have tons of information on there. Or call the Forest Service. We can certainly direct you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you for having us, Todd. We appreciate it.
Wildfire Awareness Week continues through Lake Tahoe. We'll take a quick break and be back with an hour of Tahoe Today.
This segment's brought to you by Imagine Solar.